The Angry Ghost Season 1. Overview. The story follows the tragic journey of Bernard Yeboah, a brilliant young boy nicknamed Lil Smart, and the chilling aftermath of his untimely death. As supernatural events unfold, the truth about betrayal, sacrifice, and revenge comes to light, leaving the audience eager for the next season. The beginning. In the year 2000, Mr. and Mrs. Yeboah, a childless couple, visit a church to pray for a child. Pastor Mark approaches them, offering divine guidance. He advises them to fast and pray for 1 week. The couple agrees and leaves with hope. Mr. Rich, an exceptionally intelligent teacher with numerous awards, is seen teaching his students passionately, inspiring them to achieve greatness. A month later, Mrs. Yeboah falls ill. Her husband takes her to the hospital, where they discover she is 1 month pregnant. Overjoyed, they leave the hospital, filled with gratitude. The Yeboahs return to the church to share their testimony. After the service, Pastor Mark warns them of a significant challenge ahead, urging them to be cautious. They exchange uneasy glances. At Qwabs High School, preparations are underway for a final quiz against Prempeh College. Mr. Rich encourages the contestants, motivated by a call from the authorities promising him the headmaster's position if they win. During the quiz, Mr. and Mrs. Yeboah watch proudly from home. Suddenly, Mrs. Yeboah goes into labor. At the hospital, she gives birth to a baby boy, Bernard, while Qwabs High wins the quiz. Tragically, Mrs. Yeboah passes away during childbirth. 10 years later, Bernard Yeboah, now a humble and respectful young boy, excels at Macrodia Junior High School, earning admiration for his intelligence. Mr. Rich is officially awarded the position of headmaster at Qwabs High School. During an assembly, he addresses the students, inspiring them to strive for excellence. One Saturday, Bernard asks his father about his mother. Mr. Yeboah recounts the story of her sacrifice, leaving Bernard emotional but determined. At 15, Bernard is in Junior High School 3, preparing for his final exams. His teacher advises him to avoid bad influences, advice Bernard takes to heart. As final exams begin, many students attempt to sit near Bernard, hoping to benefit from his brilliance. After completing their exams, Bernard's father promises to enroll him in Qwabs High School if he performs well, despite their financial struggles. 2 months later, the results are out. Bernard passes with flying colors and secures admission to Qwabs High. The next day, Bernard and his father visit Qwabs High to meet Mr. Rich, who welcomes them warmly. A week later, Bernard's father purchases all the necessities for boarding school. With tears in his eyes, he leaves Bernard at Qwabs High, proud yet emotional. Bernard joins the science class. Mr. Rich visits the class, announcing plans to select the best students for the math and science quiz team. 6 students, including Bernard, are shortlisted. Mr. Rich motivates them by sharing his past achievements. A month later, Bernard becomes the team leader. His peers nickname him Lil Smart, a title he proudly embraces. At an assembly, Lil Smart is awarded for his exceptional contributions. However, a jealous student, Frank, begins plotting against him. Qwabs High competes in a regional quiz. Lil Smart leads the team to victory, intensifying Frank's envy. 3 years later, Mr. Rich faces financial difficulties. He confides in his friend Bright, who offers to help. The two visit a shrine where the priest demands the blood of a brilliant student, specifically Lil Smart, in exchange for wealth. Mr. Rich is given 3 days to decide. Mr. Rich reluctantly agrees. The priest gives him a bewitched banana to give to Lil Smart. As final exams approach, Mr. Rich summons Lil Smart and hands him the banana, urging him to eat it. Lil Smart focuses on acing his exams, driven by his desire to uplift his family. A month later, exams are over. Lil Smart prepares to return home with his friend James. 5 months later, results are released. Lil Smart scores 8 A's. Excited, he rushes home to share the news but tragically dies in an accident. A week later, Lil Smart's death is confirmed. Mr. Rich secretly rejoices, believing his sacrifice was accepted. In honor of Lil Smart's achievements, the school erects a statue of him in the school center. Mr. Yeboah visits the cemetery and curses anyone involved in his son's death. Mr. Rich and Bright celebrate, convinced their problems are over. At an assembly, Mr. Rich advises students to be cautious. The school holds a ceremony to honor Lil Smart's memory. One evening, Frank sees Lil Smart's ghost, beginning a series of chilling events. Mr. Rich starts experiencing horrifying visions of Lil Smart's ghost. James dreams of Lil Smart revealing the truth behind his death and warning him to be careful. Two innocent students and a staff member die mysteriously, spreading fear across the school. Students demand answers from the administration, but Mr. Rich denies any wrongdoing. That night, Mr. Rich dreams of Lil Smart's revenge. Panicked, he and Bright plan to revisit the shrine. At the shrine, the priest instructs them to capture Lil Smart's ghost in a bottle. They perform the ritual at the cemetery. Months later, James dreams of Lil Smart revealing how to break free. James approaches Mr. Yeboah for help. James and Mr. Yeboah find the bottle at the cemetery and smash it, releasing Lil Smart's vengeful spirit. Lil Smart reappears with a chilling scream, signaling that his story is far from over.